guys. Thank you for being here. We are going to talk about Bitcoin Lake. Unfortunately, Patrick, the founder, is unable to come here today, but we are going to do our best to show you a little bit of what's the lake. So first you can see the beautiful lake it is. La otra. So we're presenting ourselves. Patrick Melder is the founder of Bitcoin Lake. He found the project in late 2021, the beginning of 2022. Eliazar he's the community leader, the man, the legend. He's the one who really make the whole thing work. And I'm Rudy Gallardo, and I'm a volunteer on the lake. I've been volunteering for at least a year.
So today I'm going to talk to you guys about what you can do in Lago Bitcoin and all that you can pay in Bitcoin. So I have some adventures for you where you, as you can see, you can pay parasailing in Bitcoin. There is you can do boats, you can pay a motorcycle ride, you can do a bicycle, and you can, of course, you can hike, and you can pay all those on Bitcoin. The adoption in Guatemala has been getting, every day is getting more people involved in, and right now we have around, only in Panajachel, we have around 80 businesses. In all around the lake, we have over 100. So we have three main goals. The first one is education. The second one is orange peel, and the third one is mining.
So as you can see, we have more than 70 merchants accepting Bitcoin in Panajachel. It's interesting because 60% of adult population in Guatemala is unable to have a bank account, right? So it's interesting too to see that, for example, 60% of the merchants don't have a bank account. So if it wasn't for Bitcoin, they will be only accepting cash, right? So we are giving them another option to receive digital payment, right? Because they can have a credit card system, a POS. And I'm going to give you some interesting numbers here. This is the volume in million sats that we have from January 2022 to April 2023, right? It's interesting because you can see in November 2022, we had a trip with Bitcoiners. Some of Bitcoiners here went to the trip, and we have a spike in volume. But you can see that we were growing. It's even outdated because I don't have the data till today, and I'm going to have it to January 2024. But you can see it has been growing. The other thing that you can see is the amount of transactions, right? So there being a lot of transactions going on. It has been growing too. You can see the spike there as well. And this is really interesting data. From January 2022 to April 2023, we had a 8.85 Bitcoin volume and more than 5,000 transactions, right? This is, for us, it's huge, right? Because first, we are only 3 persons on the team. We are in a bear market, and it's kind of new, right? So these are like really interesting numbers that you can compare. For example, the month and the transaction grow, right? This is comparing to January 2022 to January 2023. You can see the volume grow too. It's interesting too because I will say that to this day the numbers are growing. We have more Bitcoiners coming to Panajachel. We even have some Bitcoiners that are staying there for living. So we have more action, if you want to call it like that. So as Eliazar was telling you, we have 3 main objectives, right? Orange peeling, education, and adoption, and mining, sorry. So this is the first graduation that we have in Bitcoin Lake. Obviously, one of the things that we're really wanting to do there is to give people another perspective of what the world is, right? Give these people, these native people in Panajachel, to understand that there are other possibilities in the world. sometimes people think that Bitcoin education is only about financial education, right? But I think in these communities, Bitcoin education is also about opportunity, right? It's trying to explain them that the world is bigger, right? That they can dream and they can have a better future. So we started Mi Primer. So I think, if I'm not wrong, we are the first country outside El Salvador to implement Mi Primer Bitcoin diploma. And it's obviously, I think you know it, but it's a 10-week program. And we start with this school called Centro Educativo Josué, where they were one of the first schools that were open to start receiving Bitcoin education. Not only Mi Primer Bitcoin, but like Bitcoiners are really into explaining and educating people, right? So when some Bitcoiners come to the lake, they want to give something to the community, and we give them the opportunity to teach something at the lake, right? So, for example, some time ago, we had this Bitcoiner coming and explaining what a SIG signer was, right? Or how an ASIC works. So it's interesting that we have like this whole opportunity there. In the first class was only about 20 students. But we've been expanding the whole thing. This is one of the last graduations that we had. I would say more than 40 kids were graduating that day. And it's really interesting because not only we are obviously given like free education and open education, but also now we have people and schools coming to us asking for Bitcoin education, right? Because they really understand what the value is. And I think it's really interesting, this too, because if you go to the lake and you ask someone about Bitcoin, you're going to find a real interesting response, right? Because maybe 2 years ago, if you ask someone there about Bitcoin, they will tell you that's a scam, or they don't believe, or they don't even know what it is. Now, if you ask someone what Bitcoin is in Bitcoin Lake, they will tell you, oh yeah, I know that merchant accepts Bitcoin, right? Oh, maybe I will accept Bitcoin later. So there is a completely different shift in perception and knowledge about what Bitcoin is. This is a video of the test that we had in Mi Primer Bitcoin final test, but I don't think it's working. Well, oh yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. It was cool because it's a little girl making a lightning transaction for the first time, right? So it's really incredible to see this type of things. And it's people that I will say it wasn't because of our really initiative of implementing Bitcoin education that will have this opportunity to learn. Obviously, the other thing that we do in education, it's meetups, right? We really want when Bitcoiners come to the lake, we make meetups, Bitcoin meetups, to not only have the Bitcoiners there, but also locals, right? So you have a mix of Bitcoiners and locals, maybe not coiners too, newbies, completely newbies, that they are interested in learning about Bitcoin. So it's a really nice culture mix in there.
This is a really interesting topic that I want to talk to you guys. I know you guys seen Kaboom. We mining in the lake with use cooking oil. Our dreams is one day to have a big mining facility in the lake. So with this, we trying to, this is our proof of work. So we show into the world that we can mine from waste, we can mine Bitcoins. So this is our Kaboom project. And it's sad, but people from Lago Bitcoin, they put in the oil they put in the rivers, they put in the sink. So all that oil, when that goes straight to the lake, what Bitcoin is doing now is solving this problem. We can really collect all the oil and transform it to Bitcoins. I'm sorry. Dale, ese es tuyo.
I just want to mention something else about Kaboom is that if you can see here, that picture in the middle is when we took the kids to the Kavun facility, right? So they are not only learning about what money is, but also about what proof of work is, right? And it's really interesting because at that time we taught the kids about what an ASIC was, right? We even have someone, it's called Jim, he's a volunteer too, and right now he's in the States, but he used to work in a mining company. So he was like really giving really interesting insights to the whole community. And you have kids over there learning about what Bitcoin mining is and how it works. And we really want to tie the Bitcoin mining with the environment, right? We really try to explain to kids that Bitcoin mining can help the environment, right? We obviously use cooking oil, but we explain them that it can be huge, right? Like it can be bigger. And yeah, so one of the projects that we were working on lately, it's really interesting, is that we have the Bitcoin ATM there. You just look at this transaction. I want to cash out some quetzales as the money. I choose Lightning. I choose sale. 100Q. My Blink wallet. So it's super cool, right? Because first, I would say that we have the first Bitcoin ATM with Lightning, I would say in the whole Central America. And for us, it was huge because it represents like a really big step in not only in the project, but also in the community. I think that the Bitcoin ATM was aimed not only to help Bitcoiners, but also merchants, right? I will say that we all agree that Bitcoin is a borderless money, right? So we have people coming from El Salvador, from Costa Rica, Bitcoiners that went to Bitcoin Beach, to Bitcoin Jungle, and obviously the easiest way to carry your money is with Bitcoin, right? So having this Bitcoin ATM in the community is really helping to expand the whole project. It's you can buy and sell too, right? You can buy Bitcoin and sell your Bitcoin. We accept quetzales and USD, and it's the first capital investment in the lake. So, for example, I'm a completely 100% volunteer. So there are a few people that really want to help the project, and I think having the first capital investment there is a huge step for making the whole project grow.
So we working on, and this is thanks to Bitcoiners that are living in Lago Bitcoin, and we're trying to make this easier for you. We're creating an application, so you guys coming to the lake, just gonna download this application, and this application you're gonna choose where you want. Oh shit. So what you want? Let's say you want a restaurant. You're gonna find pictures, the menu, prices, location of the restaurant. So this is an application that we wanna release next year and on Twitter, and so you guys can come and download once you get to Panajachel.
Yeah. So I will say that this type of things really help not only the project but also the Bitcoin community that's already there, right? Also the merchants. I think if you saw like the first information that I show you about the amount of transactions and Bitcoin volume that we have in the lake, that's completely new money that wasn't before, right? It's a new flow of money into the community that is obviously helping also the merchants. Interesting thing too is that not all of the merchants cash out. That's interesting, right? Because we might think that if someone is accepting Bitcoin, it's a newbie, they will cash out everything. But we have merchants that are holding their Bitcoin. We know they'll be holding for a year, for example. And I haven't been there for a month, but I want to go there now that the Bitcoin price has pumped, right? And see what are their expectations, because it's going to be a really interesting indicator of what is going to happen in the bull run. So obviously, our future plans is to increase the Bitcoin education. We already have Reina that is here. she really made the base of how we can really start to grow the Bitcoin education in the whole community, right? And now we are looking for another person to take Reina's position to keep teaching Bitcoin in the whole community. And yeah. The other thing that we're doing is improving the point of sale experience, right? And I saw, it's really interesting because I saw this POS system that they are using here, but currently we use QR codes. It's super easy, right? Like the pay code is super easy to use. We are trying to increase and improve the experience that the merchants have with Bitcoin transactions. We want them to make Bitcoin their preferred payment method, right? And that will be it. Thank you.
There's any questions? There's any questions that we can answer?
Do you manufacture the ATM in Guatemala?
No, it's like a Czech Republic company. Yeah. Yeah. Another question? It's called Lake Atitlan. One of the most beautiful lakes in the world.
You might have said it, I came in late, sorry. What's the name of the boat?
Oh, it's Stack Sats.
Well, this is I'm just want to invite you guys. So the next year we're gonna, these 2 years we concentrate more in Panajachel. The years coming, we're gonna want to be all around the lake. So we need volunteers, we need Bitcoiners over there. If you come in, please come to help us. And on that way, we can orange peel more businesses and educate more people about Bitcoin. So anybody's welcome. You got my contact, or you can write us, or you can write us on Twitter or on Telegram. So if you want a hotel or you want to know more about Lago Bitcoin, you're very welcome. And the last thing, well, there's a few companies that are helping this project. We really appreciate that, and thank you so much for support this project. Let's go. Fix the money, fix the world.